There are 9 areas of concern on Lake Okeechobee where health officials are detecting harmful blue-green algae. New findings from water samples reveal the threat of toxins. Health officials say drinking water is not affected at this time, but to still follow the precautions listed on your screen. Remember, if you see an algae bloom, you can always report it to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Health officials also just issued an algae alert for the C-44 canal near the St. Lucie Lock in Stewart. Meantime, tonight in a CBS 12 News exclusive, Treasure Coast reporter Denise Sawyer introduces us to a man who hopes his new ecotourism boat rides make waves about water quality in the lake.
Jason Ferrel is a fourth-generation Okeechobee resident. He's the owner of Ecotourism Airboat Rides. Some say lake water runs in his blood.
Locally, it's how we make a living.
In a remote section of Lake Okeechobee, hidden within the tall sawgrass.
The water you'll see here is clear when we get up the creek.
Jason takes us through the murky waters to a stormwater treatment area where the water is surprisingly clear and the fish are plentiful. The kind of thing you don't often see in Lake Okeechobee.
I wanted to take people out there and let them understand what this environment was all about. If I could send them home with a little bit of knowledge.
In recent years, the lake's health has worsened. Researchers say it's been poisoned by excessive nutrients from fertilizer and septic runoff, choking the oxygen out of the water, killing fish and leading to toxic blue-green algae. According to South Florida Water Management, tons of phosphorus finds its way into Lake Okeechobee each year.
Oh, you'll see it's already starting to get clogged back up.
So to protect these ecosystems and push for better water quality, Jason is taking people out on his airboat to educate them about the once pristine lake.
Well, if I don't do something now, it's not going to be here at the tail end of my life, or it's not going to be here for my kids.
Jason believes more stormwater treatment areas would do the trick by filtering out the phosphorus from the water.
Okeechobee County needs to come up with something to treat their stormwater before it gets into the lake. Coastal cities, they need to address the septic tanks that are on the intercoastal. I believe that we all have to play a part, not just the farmers, not just the people around the lake. They need to know, while I've got a camera in front of me, that we're trying our best to do our part. But we're doing something that it may take more money than we can afford to do.
Yeah, to create more stormwater treatment areas, it's pricey. Now, over the past 20 years, the state of Florida has invested $1.8 billion in phosphorus control programs, and scientists say they have seen an improvement in water quality.
Hospitals are contending with a growing nursing shortage, and Palm Beach County is no exception.
Local leaders say pandemic burnout is partly to blame for the growing number of vacancies in Palm Beach County hospitals, and now some are offering new signing bonuses to attract nurses. CBS 12's Lexi Nall joins us live from St. Mary's Medical Center in West Palm Beach. And Lexi, new nurses could get big bonuses working there.
Liz, that's right. Now, the hospital group that runs St. Mary's is hoping to bring on some new nurses. And to make that deal just a little bit sweeter, they are offering up to $30,000 in sign-on bonuses in some cases. But one local nurse I spoke to told me that competitive pay, that's just part of the solution to ending this nationwide nursing shortage.
I guarantee you there's going to be a severe shortage when we're already short enough.
Jen Puckett lives in the area, but she says she can make more money as a travel nurse, especially now that hospitals across the U.S. are so strapped for help.
A lot of people have completely left the field.
Jen says burnout is partly to blame for the mass exodus of U.S. nurses, but she believes vaccine mandates for staff will only make the problem worse.
You want to put us out there in the front lines in the middle of like a pandemic that we never saw coming and make us work for a year and a half and then tell us we either have to have this shot or not, and you're not going to up our pay for anything.
President Biden recently announced a plan to mandate vaccines for millions of employees working in hospitals that receive federal funding. And today, a vaccine mandate for healthcare workers officially took effect in New York State.
I believe it's critically important for our healthcare workers to be as healthy as they can before they attend to the health of others.
Now, with more than 70,000 healthcare workers still not fully vaccinated, the Empire State is bracing for nursing shortages. But Governor Kathy Hochul says backup options are on the table. She's even considering calling in the National Guard to fill the gaps in hospitals if need be.
What is looming for Monday is completely avoidable, and there's no excuses.
Well, remember, the American Nurses Association, which represents millions of nurses across the country, they do openly support COVID-19 vaccines for nurses. And they wrote in a statement on their website, quote, "Nurses have a professional and ethical obligation to model the same health care standards that they prescribe for their patients."
Local elected officials are calling the state's anti-riot law an assault on home rule. The city of Lake Worth Beach is now joining other cities across the state in fighting the controversial anti-riot law. Our Stephanie Valderrama explains how one of the provisions in that law takes away local government's power to determine police budgets.
Jim, Liz, Lake Worth City Beach commissioners want to make it very clear they don't want to defund police, and rather they want to have the power here locally to decide on police budgets rather than some bureaucrats in Tallahassee. Every year, the city of Lake Worth Beach spends millions on a contract with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office to patrol the streets. City Commissioner Kim Stokes tells CBS 12 News she's concerned about provisions in the governor's anti-riot law, which give ultimate control of the city's policing budget to Tallahassee.
If we increase their budget 1 year, then the next year we're now tied into that for infinity, and we can't go back. If our funding sources dry up, we cannot revert back to the original one.
The law does limit local government's ability to cut police budgets. State attorneys and local elected officials who disagree with the budgetary changes can appeal to a state commission, which consists of the governor and cabinet members.
And they can go in and make line item changes to our police budget, and we have no chance but to accept that.
Stokes, Vice Mayor Herman Robinson, and the rest of the city commission agree that goes too far. So Lake Worth Beach is joining the city of Gainesville in the lawsuit against the governor's anti-riot law.
Tallahassee should not be dictating what we can't do.
That lawsuit will be filed soon, and other cities are expected to join in. Now, city commissioners here think they have a really good chance of winning that lawsuit in court, and they tell me that the attorneys that are handling this case are doing it all for free, so it's not going to cost taxpayers anything.